Hello, ladies. I hope y'all are doing well. Happy Thursday. Happy week 2 of our Advent study. Excuse me. Yes, you are seeing correctly. I am in pajamas. Thankfully, I have some cute Christmas pajamas though, but I am actually having a cyst drained, and so I am down for the count. Hopefully, I'll feel better soon. But I get to hang out in pajamas all day, right? So you got to find the good in even the bad, right? Which is interesting because today we're talking about Jesus over the darkness we see. And if you got a chance to listen to the audio, she talks a lot about light in the darkness. And so I'm going to just double check and make sure all is good, that audio is working, and all of the good things. So I hope y'all are having a great week. Okay. Yes, audio is working. Yeah. I hope you guys are having a great week. I've actually had a really good week. Even though at the moment I am in pajamas and home. But yeah, we had church Saturday and Wednesday. Our church celebrated our the saint that our church is named after, Saint Catherine. It was her martyr day on Wednesday, and so we had vespers, which is where we basically sing the psalms and prepare for service the next morning, and then we had fellowship afterwards, and it was really delightful. And then when we were done with that, that was when we started the cyst journey, because I knew that I'd have a few days to be able to be home and not have to go anywhere and whatnot. So hopefully I am hoping I feel better by church on Saturday. So if you guys will pray for me, I would really appreciate it. Just pray for a speedy healing um, over my body. That'd be great. So anyway, let's dive in. We are in Advent week 2. Jesus over the darkness we see, and again, this had me in tears. It was so beautiful. Um, so she starts off with reading John 1:4-9. And so I'm gonna start us off by reading that as well. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Oh, actually, that's the very beginning of John. Let's hop down to John 1:4. Okay, in him was life, and the life was the light of men, and the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not comprehend it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. This man came for witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe he was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which gives light to every man coming into the world. And she talks a lot about how life and light go together. And if we think about it, we, I mean, we can agree, right? Like, I know I agree because when you think of people who have a light in them, they walk in a room and their smile lights up the room, or just somebody's presence in your life brings light, but it also brings life. And so I love that she talks about life and light going together, because it really does. And God is life. He overcame death. Um, and so, she asked the question, why is there still darkness? Because we live in a world where we're seeing darkness all around us. I feel like my heart's getting broken at least twice a week just by news alone, just by of things going on in the world, things that we're hearing about, things that are happening to children, things that just are unjust. And so there is still darkness in this world. And so let's go to John 16:33. She read that scripture, and so I want to read that with you all. Give me a second, finding it in my Bible. Okay, 16:33. These things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. I'm going to read that again. Things I have spoken to you, that in me you may have peace. In the world you will have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I've overcome the world. So in him we will have peace as we're having tribulation in this world. But he tells us to have good cheer. He's overcome the world. So he's overcome that tribulation in the world, the tribulation, the grief, the pain, the waiting, the betrayal, whatever it is you're going through right now. That is a tribulation of the world, and he tells us to be of good cheer because he overcomes the world. He overcomes that of the world. He overcomes those things. And so it should give us a lot of peace and remind us of the light as we grow in our waiting, as we are growing in the grief, as we're growing in whatever it is that you're going through. The light will always prevail. He lights the path ahead of us. And that is something that for me, I've really been trying to give him all of my trust and give him all of my heart and my life in the supplications in my life, the intentions. I'm really trying to get to a place where I surrender it all to him because I trust him, because I completely trust him, because I know that he goes before us. And like she says, he lights the path ahead of us. He's not only going before us, but he's lighting the path for us so we can see, so we have the eyes to see. She talked about how the world looks dark and that there's always conflict between dark and light. But in the dark seasons, he wins. And I think that was the biggest takeaway for me as we're going through hard times, holidays. Yes, they're fun, they're great. I look forward to them every year, but it doesn't change the fact that um, they are hard for a lot of us, for maybe even most of us. And I have learned that it is, we can simultaneously be joyful and grieving at the same time. We can simultaneously be excited, but have that dread at the same time. If miscarriages taught me anything, it's the simultaneous feelings of hope and despair, and simultaneous feelings of of uh, of thankfulness and grief. Because each time I've always been thankful that I even got to carry a child, whether it was for a few weeks. We've made it between 8 and 9 weeks before, and I was so thankful for that because that was some of the best. Those were some of the best weeks of my life. Just having that life in me, and so when we lost him, I had both thanksgiving in my heart and grief, and tremendous grief. Um, and so we can have those simultaneously, those different feelings. But when we're experiencing the darkness, remember that his light wins, that his light wins. There's conflict between dark and light, and we might be walking in both of those at the same time. Um, a perfect example. Um, my little cousin, which I also view him as my nephew, got married over the summer, and he just lost his grandpa a few months before, and so that was a day of great joy and blessing, but also a day of darkness and of grief, of deep grief and sadness. And so, even in those times where we're kind of walking in both, and we're able to recognize the dark and the light, lean more to the light, guys. Know that His light um, is lighting the path ahead of you. Know that even in conflict between dark and light, His light wins. Period. And I think whenever we step back and understand that and allow His light to win, we can see it. We can see His light, even if we're in the midst of grief or pain or hurt or betrayal, worry, anxiety. Um, we can still hang on and cling to His light. So that's what I want to encourage you to do today, is to cling to His light. So that's about it. I am going to hop off here, get my butt back on the couch, and rest. I love you all, and I pray that y'all have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye.